Iar în ultimele 24 de ore, clipul video cu un tren încărcat cu arme nucleare a făcut înconjurul lumii. Ne referim la acest videoclip. Sunt deja milioane de vizualizări pe rețelele de socializare. Analistul militar polonez Konrad Muzyka a recunoscut echipamentele militare din aceste imagini, doamnelor și domnilor, ca aparținând direcției 12 a forțelor armate ruse, cea care se ocupă de depozitarea, transportul și întreținerea atenției armelor nucleare din Rusia. Rusia ne va arăta că este capabilă, chiar doritoare, de a-și folosi capabilitățile nucleare, ne-a spus analistul militar într-un interviu exclusiv pentru NewsHour-ul CNN. Dar în același interviu ne-a mărturisit că folosirea armei nucleare de către Rusia ar însemna și sfârșitul lui Vladimir Putin, pentru că răspunsul vestului ar fi unul devastator. What made you identify that train stacked with trucks as belonging to the 12th Directorate of the Russian Armed Forces, which is involved in storage, transport, maintenance of nuclear weapons?
There are actually two main things. One relates to the train itself, namely there are two vehicles that we associate with the 12th main directorate of the Russian Ministry of Defense, which, as stated, is responsible for handling of nuclear munitions. One of the vehicles, one of the trucks, actually, we've seen in a number of 12 directorate exercises. And the second vehicle, the armored personnel carrier, we also believe is solely used now by the 12th Directorate. But also equally important, the train line where the video was made runs directly to the 12th main directorate base.
What is the most important conclusion after we saw that images? What is Vladimir Putin preparing?
I do believe that this video was actually released on purpose to make us all think that, Putin or Russia in general will be escalating. And we have to bear in mind that times will get tough as we go on. I am quite certain that there will be more of similar videos appearing online. It is more than likely that Russia will continue training its strategic missile forces. We are more than likely to see more nuclear components being trained, and all of this is done to exert pressure on the West and on Ukraine to start negotiating with Russia.
Do you think that Vladimir Putin is capable of using a nuclear tactical weapon?
What I can tell you based on Russian exercises and Russian doctrine is that, escalation is a process, right? So it's highly unlikely that Russia is going to nuke Ukraine tomorrow or day after tomorrow. It is going to be a process where additional steps are actually taken to exert more and more pressure on the West. I do think that, we are at the very beginning of the stage, and things will probably get worse as we go on, and we will see more indications that, Russia will show us that it's capable and maybe even willing to use its nuclear capability, but it does not necessarily mean that it is going to do it. The way I see it is that Russia, for instance, can conduct nuclear training exercises in Russia. It can release a piece of information which will indicate that they conducted a nuclear strike on Ukraine, without actually obviously doing that. And if the West does not budge, if the West still refuses to accept Russia's terms, then it will be up to Russia to decide what the next step is going to be, whether they will conduct a nuclear explosion maybe somewhere in Russia, or they detonate a bomb over the Black Sea. The first option again is to conduct a nuclear strike on Russian targets in Ukraine. And the second option is to conduct a massive conventional strikes on Russian targets also in Ukraine. But such strikes would have a really crippling effect on the Russian ability to sustain, to conduct any sort of operations in Ukraine. And that would probably mean now the end of the war for Russia, because the attack would be so devastating.